During the player ratings, myself and Gio had a major disagreement about Scamacca, or at least how Scamacca should be appraised for the Leicester match.
2-1? I don't know.
Oh, it wasn't that.
I thought it was awful.
We managed to agree on something, though, and that was Declan Rice.
Quite impressive. I didn't expect him to score this high for me, to be honest with you.
Go on, what'd you give him?
I've got him on an 8.
Unfortunately, Tilo Kehrer didn't quite rate as highly as Declan and came in for some criticism.
He's my lowest rating of the month, 4.
Is he?
I've got yeah.
Wow, that is low.
I'm not happy with Tilo Kehrer this month.
And those are just some of the examples that you're going to see in just a minute. Some clips, some extracts from some of our Patreon videos during the last week. In case you're wondering what's our Hammers Chat 12 Days of Christmas offer of the day, well, today's offer is basically patrons get a discount across everything on our online store, which is hammerschatstore.com. So if you are a patron, go and check it out. If you are a patron, you already know. If you're not a patron, now's the time to join. We've got a very, very exciting announcement coming up soon, plus more of what you're about to see now.
Scamacca.
2-1? I don't know.
Oh, it wasn't that.
I thought it was awful. It was 2.
I don't think he was good, but how is he meant to play well when we play
I agree.
like that?
I agree. I absolutely agree. Just like Souček, that one might be on Moyes as well. The difference is with Souček.
But you're giving Souček a 7.
Well, that's because I think he's a defender, and as a defender, he did blocks and tackles. I can't do that for him. I can't say, well, actually, technically, because he dropped so deep, we'll class Scamacca as a midfielder. Well, if I'm going to do that, he didn't make any passes or anything else anyway. I can't do that.
No, but I think you have to mark. I think you have to mark him as a target man. That's how I feel like he's been played, and I think he was bringing the ball down. It's just that there's no one to lay it off to. When there was players around him, he was giving it to them. And when there's no players around him, he's losing it because there's nowhere to put the ball.
Yeah, I just, I agree with the excuses for him. I don't even blame him. I still think he's a good player. But if I'm assessing a player on that game, nothing. No, I think Souček, in essence, redeemed himself with his headers and his tackles. I just didn't see any redeeming features of Scamacca's game. In fact, he might have brought the ball down here and there. I mean, but
half of them are still playing like it's Antonio. The perfect example in the first half, Jared Bowen had it out on the touchline. He did a blind pass down the line. And Scamacca almost looked over and go, wow.
I agree.
But then Scamacca ran after it and won a throw in. He fast mucked up. He tried to see it out, didn't go out. He got the throw in. But that pass is a pass you do when Antonio's a striker because you know Antonio will run after it. But we're still playing. Some of our players are playing like it's Antonio up front, and it ain't Antonio anymore. And this is the problem. Moyes speaks of a transition. Well, the guy up front is a different type of striker, but the way we play ain't changed. So how's the new guy with a new way of playing he's almost set up to fail before we've even kicked off?
I agree with all of that, all right? But it's like having a really good racing car on a Formula One track with a really good driver, and the car's got no fuel. They forget to fill the car up with fuel. And when it comes to who gets driver of the day? You're not choosing him. Well, no, I can't. He's a really good driver, and the car's really good. Yes, it is, but well, the reason he wasn't any good was because there's no fuel. Well, that's fine, but I still can't give him driver of the day. I understand all the excuses why Scamacca wasn't firing and couldn't play well, but it was awful. It was awful. And the blame is on Moyes, But
how are you giving him the worst mark out of the starting 11 though?
Well, because I thought he was
the least. Conceded a pen. Carver's flipping AWOL half the game.
I thought he was the least involved of all the players on the pitch. So I have no laps in the race to assess him. There was no bullying. There was no long shot. There was nothing. There was
a long shot. Yeah, one.
Okay, but I have nothing to assess him on.
But the point is, he's having to take that shot because he ain't getting any other way of shooting.
And I agree, but he didn't feature in the game, and that's on David Moyes.
I just think your marking's very harsh. Your marking implies that he hasn't done enough, and I'm saying I don't think he has, by the way, but I think he's shackled. There's only so much he can do when we're playing like that.
I agree. But my marking doesn't imply anything because I've quantified it by my statements.
Your mark implies he was crap. completely.
Well, he was
with
crap.
nothing.
He was crap, and I blame that on David Moyes. He wasn't able to raise himself above the terrible tactics. I understand that. Otherwise, where do we stop? We give him a 7 because he might have been good had he have got.
No, I'm giving him a 5. Average. He was average.
Well, I don't think he was
Good.
average.
Well, he had some decent bits and some poor bits, but ultimately, there's only so good he can
No,
play.
we're not
with
going
those
to agree. I mean, even Andy's saying it wasn't his fault. I'm not saying it was his fault. I don't.
Do you know
think
the biggest thing? The biggest thing Scamacca did wrong was not evolve into
The
Michael
sign for West
Antonio
Ham.
overnight. Yeah, that too. But the second thing he did wrong was not evolve into Michael Antonio overnight so that he could fit into these tactics.
I agree.
At the start of the season, when it was, is he the new Sebastian Haller? I thought, nah, because he was looking good. But now, the more I see of him in the last few weeks, I'm starting to think he flipping is going to be Sebastian Haller.
Yeah,
unless
I know.
Unless we do something
absolutely
drastically, we've got the same problem as we have with Sebastian Haller.
Okay, right. No, listen. Let me just deal with this now because I also Andy. Where's Andy? Sorry, you're all typing fast now because Andy, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for him as well. And as Ralph saying, if I was a brickie, I didn't get a brick to lay them. I didn't lay any bricks. That's not you. That's not you. You're absolutely right. Okay, but you're also self-employed and not getting paid for work that day. I'm afraid. In every building firm I've ever worked, I've worked for. Look, it is a shame. And what you're saying is right. I'm now worried. I dismissed it at the start again about the Sebastian Haller. And I know he's different. He's more interested than Haller. He's more mobile. And there was a lot of things that I said about him. He has no idea. Did you see someone posted older Euro experts thing on our WhatsApp?
No.
Oh right, okay. So on our Patreon Addicts WhatsApp group, someone posted Euro expert did the pitch, and where positions the players go into are very good. Sorry, I'm reading something, and he did a really good job of explaining it, and basically how David Moyes isn't getting the best out of him, and it was basically the positions he took up. With Sassuolo or whatever they're called, the players around him, what David Moyes has got to do. And it's the same as Paqueta as well. David Moyes has bought these players and he doesn't know how to play to their strengths. So, yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's really, really bad. But I don't blame him at all. I think he's a good player. I look forward to seeing...
Give him a 1. That is blaming him.
I've given him a 2.
Well, that's blaming him.
No, I don't.
You are blaming him.
I don't blame him. But I'm not going to inflate his figures and pretend there was...
You've done it with
a load of good stuff that wasn't there. Yes, I understand he didn't do it because he didn't get the ball. I totally understand that, and everyone else is to blame. But unfortunately, I've got to. I need some tricks. I need some flicks. I need some shots. I need some stuff to assess him on. I can't.
I need the manager to play the right way so I can assess him.
Well, absolutely, but you do not get marks. What am I meant to do? Give him marks for shrugging his shoulders and shouting at people for not passing him the ball. We will deal with David Moyes in a minute. By the way,
let's deal with him when you're ready.
And then briefly, like on the goal, like I've seen people saying for Maddison's goal, getting done in that left back position again. Said Benrahma doesn't come back and help. So he's left in a 2v1 where Castagna goes inside him and Maddison is hanging out on the outside deeper. What's he meant to do? He either stays with Maddison and allows Castagna potentially to tap in at the back post without anyone with him, or he goes with Castagna and the ball's cut back and Maddison can shoot unopposed. That's all about your left winger coming back and saying, I can see a 2v1 situation developing. Let me get back in there and help out. And briefly on that, I think Benrahma, I know I'm going on a bit here, but Benrahma really...
More bang for your buck, so don't worry about it. Go on.
As
much as you want, mate.
The spark, again, in possession. And I actually really loved a lot of things about his performance here. I think it was 7 completed dribbles and 50% accuracy, if you like. So it's 14 attempted dribbles, 7 completed. So much of what we did well went through him.
Yeah.
But again, when you look at, and this is the thing that people don't understand, when you take a wider view, zoom out, look at the game in full, you go, okay, yeah, I can see what he offers. I can see that you look to him to provide moments of inspiration that get the crowd off their seat, changed the momentum of the game. 0 passes to the penalty area, 0 completed passes to the penalty area, 0 completed crosses to the penalty area, left his left back exposed for the opening goal. That's a big problem. It's a really big problem. You can do, if you're doing all the stuff in between, great. But actually, what are you offering in terms of final end product with any kind of reliability? And are you getting back and stopping the other team from scoring goals? And ultimately, his failings are in those 2 key departments. And that's why he doesn't consistently get away with it, and why he isn't always selected by Moyes, or why Moyes is coming out in the press and saying, yeah, I like this, but I need more consistency, or I need more from the player, because he does. We need more from him. As much as he offers a lot to us, and he was brilliant in sections of this game, you just want that final ball that unlocks things and creates a chance for someone else, or for him to just, with total reliability, get back in these situations and help Cresswell out.
And as is often the way with West Ham, we start by talking about positives and end on a negative.
Yes, sorry.
It's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful thing. It's the way it goes.